Hello, Mustangs. This is Miss Cox, and I am coming to you today to give you your Tuesday tip. This week, I invited a friend along with me. This is,
I am Stephanie Gonzalez.
and Stephanie Gonzalez right now is doing all of her schoolwork online, and she and I have been talking, and she has been doing such a great job learning about herself and learning about like what does it take to be successful with online learning. So I invited her to share some of those things with her story with us today. And Stephanie, thanks for being here. Thanks for helping us with our Tuesday tip. My first question for you is, what is the first thing you had to learn to do differently since you are on the online format?
School was never easy for me. Starting from my freshman year, it was always like I would leave it for last. So this year, what I am doing differently is I decided that I really needed to get into a schedule and just make one up, one that would work for me. Obviously, a schedule can be different for everyone. We all don't have the same things we need to do in a day, but I'm here to share with you what my short schedule looks like. So I'm just gonna hold it up, but I just write it down on a piece of paper. And the first thing I do is like morning things, like it could be getting in the shower, eating breakfast, just morning things you need to do. And then I start school, and it's really hard to start school in the mornings, but I just kind of get myself to do it. Like I just log in, and then I take a short break after a few hours, maybe go outside, get a snack, whatever. And then I finish school or just start doing school again after a short break. And you don't really have to just take one break. It could be multiple breaks, but make sure they're not too long, because then I tend to get lazy and I don't want to finish doing my school. And then, it feels great after a whole day that you finish everything to just have a free day and just, be able to do you.
Absolutely. Stephanie, you highlighted some really, really important tips. The first thing I heard you talk about was a schedule and how important that it is to get on a schedule. You talked about getting up in the morning and doing like making sure that you're showering, making sure that you're eating. Tell me what time you get up in the morning.
I usually get up around like 8:45 to 9 in the morning. Not exactly, 8:45 to 9, but around there, no later.
Has it
I
has it always been like that for you? Have you always been getting up early?
No, at the beginning of, online school, I would just wake up, normal time, like 11, 12, sometimes even 1. It was terrible because I would get nothing done, especially staying up so late to finish school, till like 2 in the morning, and then waking up really late because I stayed up late, and it was just not working for me.
Yeah, and I know that was a change for you. And so would you say that that was one of the biggest changes you made was just really trying to get on a schedule and stick to it?
Definitely.
Yeah. And that's what I'm noticing too. I mean, that's really hard when you're up all night and now you're sleeping in the day and your teachers are waiting for you to email them back in the day. So I'm glad you figured that out. Something else I heard you talk about were taking breaks, like taking some breaks in between your classes. Tell me, what do you do on your breaks?
Sometimes I will do multiple things. Maybe I'll go just walk around the house, bug my brothers, and just, clear my mind off the homework. Sometimes I'll even just go outside and just, you know, drink my water or just
No, you know what? You're giving me some really health, like it's the healthy habits. It's making sure that you're moving. It's making sure that you're getting outside fresh air. It's making sure that you're getting enough sleep and making sure, like I heard you say, drinking water. All of those things are so important in the daytime just to like help yourself refocus. And the last thing I heard you say is like how important it is to try to get all your work done in the day so that way you can be done with your work and have free time to yourself. What time do you think you finish? If you're getting up about 9, what time would you say your day ends?
usually when I start around like 9-ish, I end up finishing around like Normal school time, like maybe 1 or 2.
Awesome.
Depends how much homework I have. It was definitely different when I wouldn't do school. I would just log in, get my hours, of just being on Edgenuity, the screen, and get no work done. And it accumulated up to like, I could say, well, for sure, like 100 assignments
Mhm.
and like, multiple classes. It was hard. It was really hard to catch up. And that's why I kind of lost hope and never did it. But I knew I had to turn it around and actually start doing my work.
So
It
how
was
did
stressful.
Oh, it is stressful. And you know what? Thank you for sharing that with us. I'm sure that's not an easy thing to admit to. Tell me what, so you weren't doing it, you were logging in, you got really behind. That feels not great. What was the shift? Like, what did you start doing to get into a place where now you're on track, you're doing well in your classes? What happened?
So the first thing, well, I kind of admitted to myself that I was disappointed, like this isn't right, like what you're doing. So I had to get my stuff together, So I decided to change around. Like this is when I actually started getting into a schedule. I started adding new things to it, like going on morning runs, waking up around like 6 and going on a run or a walk and just, getting outside of home, coming back to doing my school. And it kind of helps. It really helps to get a schedule. I recommend it. Even if it's not a really interesting one, it's just to keep you in track, you know?
Absolutely. And before we close, I wanted to say that one thing or two things I know you also did. One thing was you and I started talking a little bit more frequently. When we were checking in together, and I so appreciated you being honest and saying like, I'm feeling really behind, Miss Cox. And so we started making a plan, and you were the one that came up with, you know what, each week I'm going to set myself a personal goal. I'm going to, by the time you and I talk again, Miss Cox, I'm going to be at, 20% progress, and I'm going to have that goal in mind. And I know that's one thing you've done a really good job of, keeping that goal in your mind and working really hard for that goal. And that's taken I would say, a mindset shift. I noticed your thoughts became, instead of like, I can't do this, they sounded a lot more like, I can do this, and I am going to do this, and I'm moving forward, and just like just get logged in and start and see what happens. Would you say that's true?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it really helped to reach out. I'm not the type of person to reach out to, you know, to ask for help. I like to do everything on my own, but sometimes you kind of just have to, you know, reach out, even if it's to your counselor, to a teacher, or to anyone. But it feels good to get that motivation. And Miss Cox was my motivation. She kind of pushed me through it, and I appreciate it, Miss Cox.
Oh, you are an easy kid to push through, Stephanie Gonzalez. I'm looking at our time, and I can't tell you how appreciative I am for you to sit down and just share your story with all of us. Any last thoughts, any last tips you want to give to your classmates right now that might be really struggling to get started with their Edgenuity?
Just do it. Like, don't overthink it. I know you don't want to do it, or if that's not the case, just keep going and don't give up. And if you have like lots of missing assignments, just get it over with. It's not easy, but make a schedule that and get some good sleep and
Mhm.
wake up early. Start your day early.
Awesome. You're the best. Thanks so much for talking to us today. And Mustangs, that was your Tuesday tip for the week. So listen to this one. She knows what she's doing. Bye, everybody.
Bye.